Remember that feeling in grade school when you had to memorize a bunch of facts for a test? You'd cram your brain with dates, diagrams, and scientific truths, feeling like a certified genius. Well, what if I told you some of the most basic, bedrock facts you learned were complete, utter nonsense? We're about to dive into the fake facts we all learned in school, and it might just make you want to go ask for a refund on your education. Let's get right into it. Number 6, the infamous tongue map. Ah yes, that colorful little diagram of a human tongue, neatly divided into zones like a gerrymandered voting district. The tip is for sweet, the sides are for salty and sour, and the very back is reserved for the dreaded bitter. You probably spent a solid 10 minutes of your childhood carefully dabbing salt onto different parts of your tongue, trying to prove your textbook right, only to find that, well, salt tastes like salt everywhere. But you just assumed you were a weirdo with a defective tongue. Well, congratulations, you're not a mutant. That entire map is a lie. A beautiful, simple, easy-to-teach lie that comes from a 100-year-old mistranslation of a German paper. The original research from 1901 simply suggested that certain areas of the tongue might have slightly lower thresholds for certain tastes, meaning they were a tiny bit more sensitive. The difference was so minuscule it was basically irrelevant. But when an American psychologist got his hands on the data, he seemingly threw nuance out the window and created a rigid, color-coded map of taste zones. Your tongue is not a carefully planned suburb where sweet things live at the front and bitter things are banished to the back. It's a chaotic mosh pit of taste buds. You have thousands of them all over, and most of them are generalists, capable of detecting all 5 primary tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and that savory newcomer, umami. So next time you eat ice cream, you don't have to worry about only using the tip of your tongue. Your entire mouth is invited to the party. The map wasn't just an oversimplification. It was a complete fabrication that somehow became gospel in science classrooms for decades. Number 5, the 3-second goldfish. This one is a classic. We've all heard it, and we've all probably looked at a goldfish in a bowl with a strange mix of pity and amusement. Poor little guy. His entire existence is a never-ending loop of, ooh, a plastic castle, whoa, a plastic castle, hey, look, a plastic castle. It paints a picture of a creature so blissfully dumb that it can't even form a lasting memory of its own tiny world. A finned philosopher, forever trapped in the eternal present. Except it's completely false. This fact is one of the most persistent and baseless myths in the animal kingdom, likely invented to make us feel better about keeping a potentially intelligent creature in a small glass bowl. In reality, scientists who have actually bothered to study goldfish have found that their memories are surprisingly robust. They can be trained to respond to light signals, navigate mazes, and associate sounds with feeding time. And they don't forget this training after a few seconds. They can remember it for months. One study even trained goldfish to push a tiny lever to get food. They then released the fish into the wild and recaptured them half a year later. When put back in the tank, the fish remembered the lever and immediately went for it. That's a better memory than most of us have for our Wi-Fi password. So, that little guy swimming in circles isn't rediscovering his home every 3 seconds like a tiny, gilled amnesiac. He's probably just incredibly, mind-numbingly bored, and he almost certainly remembers you. Yes, you, the one who forgot to feed him yesterday. Number 4, your non-blue blood. Let's perform a little experiment. Look at the inside of your wrist. What do you see? A network of little bluish or greenish lines, right? These are your veins, and for centuries, we've been told a neat little story about them. The diagrams in biology class showed it clearly. Red, oxygenated blood goes out through the arteries, and blue, deoxygenated blood comes back through the veins. It's simple, it's color-coded, and it's completely wrong. Your blood is never, ever blue. Not even for a second. The only way your blood is turning blue is if you're a horseshoe crab. Human blood is always red. When it's loaded with oxygen, it's a bright, vibrant scarlet. When it's returning to the lungs after delivering that oxygen, it's a dark, murky, maroonish red. Think of the difference between ketchup and a dark cherry. It's still red, just a different shade. So why do your veins look like tiny blue rivers under your skin? The answer has nothing to do with the blood itself and everything to do with light physics and perception. It's a trick of the light. When light hits your skin, different colors penetrate to different depths. Red light is absorbed more easily by your blood, while blue light is reflected back to your eyes. Your skin, fat, and the vein walls act like a filter. They scatter the red light, but the blue light gets bounced back. Basically, your own body is playing a cruel prank on your eyeballs, making you think you've got some kind of royal, blue-blooded circulatory system. The reality is much more mundane. You're just a sack of flesh filled with two different shades of red liquid. Number 3, you have more than 5 senses. Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch. These are the big 5, the starting lineup of your sensory team. They've been drilled into our heads since kindergarten. We treat them as the only windows through which we experience the world. But reducing your entire perception of reality to just 5 senses is like saying a symphony is just a trumpet and a drum. Your body is running a whole suite of background apps you were never told about. Ever been able to touch your finger to your nose with your eyes closed? That's not magic, that's proprioception. It's your brain's internal GPS for your body parts. It's the sense that tells you where your limbs are in space without you having to look. Without it, walking would be a constant process of staring at your feet and consciously placing one in front of the other. Or how about the ability to tell if a cup of coffee is hot just by holding your hand near it? That's thermoception, your sense of temperature. And there are more. Nociception is your sense of pain, crucial for not leaving your hand on a hot stove. Equilibriosception is your sense of balance, managed by the liquid sloshing around in your inner ear, which is why you can stand on one foot without immediately face-planting. Some scientists argue there are as many as 20 distinct senses, so the classic 5 aren't the whole story. They're just the most famous ones, the celebrities of your nervous system. The rest are the hardworking roadies and stage crew, making the whole show happen without ever getting any credit. Number 2, the Great Lemming Conspiracy. This one isn't just a fact. It's a whole cinematic scene burned into our collective psyche. A vast horde of adorable, fluffy rodents, driven by some mysterious, ancient instinct, marching in a single-minded column toward a dramatic seaside cliff. Then, one by one, they leap into the churning abyss below, sacrificing themselves for the good of the species. It's a powerful metaphor for conformity and self-destruction. It's also a complete and total fabrication cooked up by, of all people, Disney. That's right. The source of this enduring myth is the 1958 Disney nature documentary, White Wilderness. The filmmakers went to Alberta, Canada, a place with no native lemming population and, crucially, no sea cliffs, to film this supposed natural phenomenon. So, what did they do? They imported a bunch of lemmings, built a giant, spinning turntable covered in snow to make it look like they were frantically migrating, and then herded them off a cliff into a river. They literally faked a mass rodent suicide for a cheap, dramatic shot. The truth is far less theatrical. Lemming populations do experience dramatic boom and bust cycles. When their population explodes, they eat all the available food and are forced to migrate in huge numbers to find new territory. During these chaotic migrations, some of them might accidentally fall off a ledge or drown while trying to swim across a lake. But it's an accident, not a coordinated, ritualistic act of self-sacrifice. They aren't mindless followers marching to their doom. They're just really, really hungry individuals making some questionable navigation choices under pressure. It's less of a solemn ritual and more of a poorly planned road trip. And at number 1, we have the idea that glass is secretly a liquid. This is one of those wonderfully romantic-sounding facts. You're told to look at the windows in very old churches or houses and notice that they're thicker at the bottom than at the top. The explanation? Glass is a supercooled liquid, and over hundreds of years, it has slowly, imperceptibly flowed downwards, pulled by gravity like an extremely lazy, transparent glacier. It makes glass seem mysterious and alive, a solid that's just pretending. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but your windows are not melting. Glass is an amorphous solid. It's rigid. The atoms inside don't have a neat, crystalline structure like a diamond, but they are locked in place. They are not flowing anywhere, not even over millennia. If they were, ancient Roman and Egyptian glass artifacts would be nothing but puddles by now, and they're still very much not puddles. So why are old church windows thicker at the bottom? The answer is disappointingly simple. Old-school manufacturing was just not very good. Before modern methods, creating large, perfectly flat panes of glass was nearly impossible. The process resulted in sheets that were uneven, with lumps, waves, and varying thicknesses. When it came time to install these imperfect panes into a window frame, the sensible glazier would simply put the heaviest, thickest end at the bottom for stability. That's it. There's no slow, poetic creep of molecules. It's not a testament to the strange properties of matter. It's a testament to a medieval craftsman shrugging and saying, good enough.